Sad news this morning. The former Vice President, Kwesi Amissah, is dead. He died at the 37 military hospital, and this has been confirmed. The NDC has actually confirmed through a member of parliament who was in our studio. We've also spoken to Ras Mubarak, member of parliament for Kumbungu, who also confirmed the death of the vice president after going to the gym this morning. Now, Komla Kluche is at the office of the House of the Vice President this morning, former Vice President, and he's been following up and exactly what the family intends to do. But let's quickly get to him. Comrade, good morning.
Good morning, Bright.
Hi. You are at the House of the Vice President. Can you again confirm this information we have, and what is the family saying?
Right. The family has not spoken officially on this matter. They have not confirmed as into it, but from indications, it's pointing, or it is getting very clear that the news we heard this morning that His Excellency Kwesi Amissah, as a former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana under the John Dramani Mahama administration, passed away or passed on this morning. Reports we're receiving is that he indeed passed on this morning when he went to the gym at the Burma camp. It isn't clear what the circumstances were. But right at the house, right, I can tell you it's a very, very sad mood. I have seen members of the family troop in, some members of the NDC also troop into the house. But outside again, I'm just standing directly opposite the gate behind the Sweet Spirit Hotel, or what used to be called Amissah Hotel, and you can hear cries from the house, which indicates that something is not right, which tells you that there is some news which the family is yet to confirm, but it is not good news we are picking from the house. I have seen some members of the past administration, specifically the former energy minister, Kofi Boa, who worked in a short while ago. Also, I have seen the son of His Excellency Kwesi Amissah also walking to the house. Other people walking. Just a short while ago, his official Mercedes-Benz car, which I suppose he used this morning because that's the car he's been driving for this while, or just drove into the house. The family side on it. The boys or his aides who worked with him have spoken to me with confidence, indicating that yes, it is true. He was very fit this morning. Up until this morning, somewhere around 5:30, that he left the house for the gym. He was very fit, and this is a man who does a lot of jogging and a lot of physical work. So it comes to them as a surprise. Like I did say, the family is yet to officially break the news to the media about his demise, right?
But you can confirm that the number of people in the house or trying to get into the house or around the house is swelling up.
Absolutely, but that is the case, and from indications, the cries from the house is telling that something is not right. But his special aide, spoke to me in confidence, confirming that yes, indeed, it is true that his boss is no more. He was walking this morning for them to prepare to go to the office before the news was spoken to him. His last public appearance, Bright, was on Wednesday, where the wife launched a book. Though you know, the wife is a librarian and she's been doing some donations or some charity work, donating books to schools and orphanages and all that, children's departments and all that. But his last appearance was at on Wednesday, 2 days ago, where the wife launched a book actually, where he was at. This is what we are picking up from it. It is confirmed, yes, that yes, indeed, His Excellency Kwesi Amissah, after the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and also former governor of the Central Bank. Right.
But what you cannot, as of now, confirm is when perhaps the family would officially tell Ghanaians about the demise of the former vice president.
From what I gather, as the news is trickling in, it will not be too long from now. The family would have to put a statement out. The family would have to officially confirm to Ghanaians that the former vice president passed on, because the news from all indications is true that he has passed on. The family is just trying to put thoughts together for them to officially release a statement indicating that yes, indeed, he is no more. But I'm sure consultations are ongoing. What we can tell is that in the house is the wife, is children, as well as some family members, and that of his party, the National Democratic Congress. But a short while ago, the president or the government has issued a statement indicating their condolence to the family, and this is what the statement reads. If I can just quickly read that to you, which means that the seat of government has confirmed that indeed it is true. That is now. Let me just read a statement from His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo on his official Facebook page. I have learned with shock and great sadness the sudden death of the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Kwesi and Mr. Arthur. He has been a long-standing public servant who discharged his duties with dignity. The news of his death is unfortunate, since he appeared to have a lot to contribute to our country. My thoughts and sympathies are with his wife, children, and family. I extend my deepest condolences to them and also to the former President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the entire National Democratic Congress, of which former Vice President Mr. Arthur was a prominent member. Ghana has lost a fine public servant. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So it tells you that, right, the news is true. He is no more, and as the seat of government has released this statement, or the president has released the statement, it tells you that the sources are concretized. What we hear is very true, right?
Kamala Kluche, we're grateful for your time. We will be going back to the house of the vice president, former vice president, who passed on this morning at the 37 Military Hospital. We have our men also located in Cape Coast, his family house, as well as the 37 Military Hospital, where the former vice president passed on this morning. Alfred Okante is at the 37 Military Hospital. We'll be getting to him, while Thomas Khan is at the family house of the former vice president at Cape Coast. We'll be getting to them to pick the reaction of the family and what is happening. But the news coming in is that the former vice president died this morning at the 37 Military Hospital. You're also watching New Day Live, and former Vice President Kwesi Amissah has died this morning at the 37 Military Hospital. We're told that he had actually gone to the gym this morning and collapsed and was rushed to the facility where he passed on. Kwesi Amissah was born on 29 April 1951. He was a Ghanaian economist, academic, and politician who was the 6th Vice President of Ghana. He was in office from 6 August 2012 until 7 January 2017, and the former President John Dramani Mahama. He was previously the governor of the Bank of Ghana from 2009 to 2012. He was sworn in as Vice President on August 6, 2012, following vetting by the Parliament of Ghana. He was nominated by President John Dramani Mahama to be the Vice President a week after Mahama himself was sworn in. Kwesi Amissah was born at Cape Coast, the capital of the central region of Ghana. From 1983 to 1986, Amissah served as a special assistant to the Secretary of Economic and Finance Planning Ministry, Dr. Kwesi, in the Provisional National Defense Council government. Subsequently, he was Deputy Secretary for Finance in the PNDC government from February 1986 to March 1993. He continued as a Deputy Minister for Finance in the Rawlings's government after the establishment of constitutional rule until March 1997. Kwesi Amissah was appointed Governor of the Bank of Ghana in October 2009 by President John Evans Atta Mills. He held this position until 6 August 2012 when he became Vice President of Ghana following the death of Professor John Atta Mills. Now let's go back to the 37 military hospital. Alfred Okanse is there and he's with some NDC functions, the national organizer of a party. Mr. Kofi Adams is there. Alfred, good morning and grateful for your time with us. Exactly tell us where you are and what is happening there.
Right, good morning. Thank you. I'm at the 37 hospital. The national organizer of the NDC is here. Please, let's take a listen to him.
Asked by His Excellency the President to remove the Electoral Commissioner and the 2 deputies from office. We, the actors in the political activities of this country, decided to assemble this morning at Grasport. Unfortunately, we woke up to a very sad news, and so we have had no other cause but to have to cancel that gathering because of the sad news that we've heard. Meanwhile, the details of this sad news will be announced by the family later. And so I would not want anyone to ask me about the details or otherwise. But the truth is that Ghana is mourning, NDC is mourning.
That was
I told you the details will be announced later.
National organizer of the NDC there at the 37 military hospital where Alfred Okanse is talking to the media about the NDC's planned demonstration which had to be cancelled because of the death of the former vice president. Let's once again listen to Mr. Kofi Adams.
Ignore his contribution at various levels, at various times when it was needed most. He has counted and continues to count.
Well, that's the national organizer of the NDC is at the 37 military hospital. Now we can hear.
On Wednesday, we had a long meeting that started from about 10 o'clock in the morning, traveled all the way to about 2, 3 o'clock. We were all there at the Council of Elders meeting. Again yesterday, the book launch event, he was there. This morning, he was doing the normal things that he does. And, oh God.
Have you heard any word from the former president, John Mahama?
Oh. On our way here, we spoke. I spoke with him. He's not in the country.
That he's out of the country, but he's airborne, as we speak, to come back and actually get into the details of exactly what happened that's led to this sad we're hearing this morning. He's not alone. He's here with a number of NDC executives, but they've all delegated that authority to speak to the media, to Kofi Adams, which he has just done, told us what they know at the moment, but they're going to the family house to sit with the family to decide exactly what detail they will put out. But we can confirm indeed that the case with news we're hearing this morning about the death of the immediate past Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Kwesi Amissah. His body is here at the 37 Military Hospital as confirmed. The NDC have had to cancel a number of activities they outlined to respond to the decision by the President yesterday to dismiss or, as it were, have the AC chair and the two deputies just be asked to step aside. Now, what we can say for confirmation is that the NDC is set to release an official statement in this regard, which confirms, he just told me off air before he started talking to the press here. It's a very heavy and sad moment, not only for the party, but for us all as a country. So the mood here is a sad and sober one. I must say, the crowd is thickening by the minute because everybody is also coming in, trooping in to confirm what they are hearing and seeing on television and radio. Right.
And you said the crowd is massing up at the 37 Military Hospital. Are these ordinary Ghanaians or the family members or supporters of the NDC?
Well, I must say that it is a mix of them. There are some persons who are wearing NDC T-shirts, those who have the NDC paraphernalia also wrapped on their arms. Some ordinary Ghanaians, you would want to describe them, who are also obviously curious about what they are hearing on the radio and would want to confirm exactly what's happening. But I must also note that the 37 Military Hospital has put all measures in place to ensure that if there is any massing up of crowd of very curious Ghanaians who would want to come and confirm what they are hearing, they have put measures in place to take care of that, I must say. So there are about 12 military personnel at the entrance, at many sides of the entrance, who would ask you a few questions of exactly what you're here for. It's something that doesn't happen on a normal day. But these are all measures they put in place to ensure that any possible overflow of persons who are here to just confirm what they are hearing will be properly controlled, right? The front of the facility is a traffic-prone area, particularly in mornings like this. What is the situation? Traffic is quite heavy. I must say it's a usual spot for traffic in the rush hours or the early hours of the morning. But then today, I must say that because of the number of vehicles trooping in, it will not be said to be a normal traffic jam at this time of the morning, because between 6 and 7, yes, you would expect that traffic will be here because a lot of people are moving, but it's about 8:30 now. Under normal circumstances, the traffic should have eased up a bit, but it's just a slow-moving traffic. But I must say it's moving, though, at a slow pace. But what I can say is that the military personnel are also on the road at the entrance where the traffic light is, to direct traffic to ensure free flow of vehicles and also human beings who are also crossing the road to the other side. So the measures in place, I must re-emphasize that, because if you see the many people who are coming here, there's just a description of sadness, of curiosity, of a lot of mourning on their faces, wondering exactly what the truth or otherwise is with what they're hearing. So that's the situation here. A number of have been seen wailing already, clad in funeral clothing, already mourning this news that they are hearing. But they have refused to speak to it. Early on, I had a gentleman who described or identified himself as a member of the family, which I cannot independently confirm, but he did indicate that the family heard this news in the media, because all they do know is that he left home this morning to go to the gym, to go and train, which is a normal routine he does, only to be told of news via the media. So that is the situation now, right?
Alfred, grateful for your time. Alfred Okansi is at the 37 Military Hospital. We'll be following up closely on what happens at the house of the former Vice President, and also the family house in Cape Coast. Kamla Klucher is located at the house here in Accra. Thomas Khan is at the family house in Cape Coast, while Alfred Okanse is stationed at the 37 Military Hospital. The NDC has cancelled its gathering at the Obra Sport in Accra as a result of the passing on of Kwesi Amissah, former vice president. Now, the man who has served Ghana was born on 29 April 1951. He is a Ghanaian economist. That's how much we know about him. He was born in Cape Coast in the Central Region, and he was nominated by President John Dramani Mahama as a vice president after he was sworn in as president of the Republic of Ghana following the demise of the late President Professor John Evans Atta Mills. Now, Mr. Kwesi Amissah attended Infantsipim Secondary School, where he obtained the GCE level and A level in 64 and 71. He graduated from the University of Ghana, Legon, with a Bachelor of Science degree in 1974 and had his Master of Science degree in 1976. These were both in economics. He became a research assistant at the Institute of Statistical, Social, and Economic Research from 74 to 75, and later became a lecturer at the Department of Economics at the Legon from 1980 to 1988. He also lectured at the Department of Economics at the Anambra State of Education, Akwa Anambra State in Nigeria between 1981 and 1983. Amissah served as a special assistant to the PNDC Secretary of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Kwesi Bochu. He later became the Deputy Secretary of Finance in the PNDC government from February 86 until March 93, and served at the same position for the first term of the NDC under former President Rawlings after the establishment of constitutional rule. He was made in charge, or later was placed in charge of the preparation of the annual public investment program management of the budget of Ghana. The 65-year-old economist worked as a consultant for the World Bank of Ghana and in Gambia and the Netherlands government education project in Ghana. He was appointed governor of the Bank of Ghana in October 2009. And that is the man that passed on this morning at the 37 Military Hospital. We'll bring you more of what is happening in his house here at the Ridge Alisa, around Alisa Hotel in Accra here. And we'll also try and pick signals from what is happening in the family house at Cape Coast. And Alfred Okanse is at the 37 Military Hospital, where he is following closely the arrival of some NDC members, including the national organizer of the party, who has announced a cancellation of the planned gathering of the party in reaction to the dismissal of the Electoral Commission chairperson and her two deputies. We'll get to you more on this. Let's take a quick break. Stay with us right here on New Day. There's more coming up.